Hello and welcome to the Gameweek number 22 team selection video. Whether you need to wildcard, how your team is looking, I'm gonna be covering my team and the players that I'm aiming to get. It's going to be mostly like a strategic video. I'm not gonna be breaking down the stats of each player, but in this game week I got a green arrow finally. Now my rank is within 300,000. Green arrow with a good safety score, and I just beaten it, but still couldn't make it higher than 298,000. Although I think my team is predispositioned well, and I'm gonna be rolling. I'm not gonna be making any transfers because the way my team is looking for the next game week, I don't really need to make any transfers. And in fact, I think I'm gonna be benching Bowen, who is just the worst pick this season. It was a punt, of course. I expected him to be my differential, but West Ham are so bad that the only points that Bowen delivered for me was defensive contribution points, which is hilarious for a striker. Captaincy on Haaland, and it's good that I decided to switch Ekitike to Thiago. Ekitike didn't feature in the game, so I would have had a Wilson 9-pointer and a transfer saved. Thiago in a long run is still a fantastic pick. Of course, it's underwhelming that Thiago is getting -1, and Lewis Hall, who has been so widely loved by other FPL creators, is getting the assist. Well, I guess it's even now because he just got a 17-pointer that bailed me out last game week. This game week it's Bruno Guimaraes again. Somehow he's taking the penalty where neither Walter Mader nor Gordon are on the pitch, and of course Dorgo getting the assist. I really am benching Wilson's points, and he has been my, not like differential, I just kind of jumped on the bandwagon, but it just, I don't understand, my decision making is questionable. Obviously they play Chelsea, but they won that game, and Chelsea are in a pretty rough form right now. I notice a lot of people are eyeing getting Answer right now already, and maybe even Palmer, defenders from Chelsea. I think it's a little bit too early, given that we don't know what Rosignol is going to be doing, and especially people are looking at goalkeeping position. Like, I actually wanted to change Raya to someone like Sanchez and then getting Rice instead of one of my midfielders who are underperforming. But it just feels like Sanchez can be dropping his place because Rosignol said that he wants a ball-playing goalkeeper. Now, speaking of the odds, this is Solo Analytics, and alongside with Rob T FPL, he is providing us with the data. Obviously, Liverpool are expected to be the highest scoring team. And then after that, interestingly, it's Brighton, whom it's just really difficult to pick a Brighton player right now. I used to have Mint, I actually have him. It feels like he is going to be returning back from injury. I may even just decide to start him, but I don't know, and it will depend on the press conferences, but you can see that this game happens on Monday. I may just play him first bench, I'm not sure yet, but they're supposed to be, according to data, according to betting odds, they're supposed to be second highest team in the game week number 22. And then you have Man City, obviously, and Chelsea, two teams who are supposed to be scoring at least one goal and then maybe close to 2 goals. So I think captaincy decision is pretty I mean, it's just so obvious just because Manchester United are in shambles right now. The caretaker manager is just, there is like this contract with Carrick. Carrick is signed, and I don't know if it's going to be happening anytime soon. What's happening right now? And the team is a little bit all over the place. Defending situation is pretty shambolic too. So it feels like they are going to be conceding goals, right? But if I had Ekitike, if I didn't sell him, I obviously would have gone against Haaland. But now I'm in a position where Ekitike in the long run, and obviously if we talk about long run fixtures, Liverpool are good for the next 2 or 3 games, and then it becomes a little bit dodgy. For the clean sheets, actually, where I wanted to jump off triple Arsenal defense, it's actually not that obvious. I really wanted Rice back into my team because he was injured. I decided to get rid of him, and he apparently wasn't injured, plays the game, gets 17-pointer or whatever. Was very painful to see that. I want him back because he was my differential. I didn't have Saka a single game this season. I really wanted Rice back then, and I really want him back into my team. But jumping off triple Arsenal defense, as you can see, they're projected to have the most clean sheets, apart from Liverpool in this game week, and Man City in Gameweek 23, because they play Wolves, I think. So this is a little bit all over the place, but I think where people are eyeing a wild card is where the fixtures turn for Chelsea and for Bournemouth in particular. Obviously, there's a few other teams like Crystal Palace as well. You may look into them and getting their defenders like Munoz back if he is getting back from injury. This could be a good idea. Obviously, there are certain picks like Calvert-Lewin from Leeds, maybe a defender from Sunderland could be a good idea, of course. Getting a Fulham player like Wilson, I have him already. I was benching him too many times and I regret that. So I'm not going to be benching him anytime soon. And then, of course, getting someone like an Everton midfielder could be an idea. And when we talk about other players, I think it's Crystal Palace attackers. And of course, for Brentford, I mean, I assume that everyone has Thiago now by this time. Like, everyone jumped on the bandwagon. I think it's a little bit too late now. And when we cover Bournemouth, I think it's Tavernier. Now that he is on free kicks, now he's on penalties, he may be not as involved into attack like he scores from now there. Maybe he's not like as prolific as Morgan Rogers. But I think I'm gonna be jumping off Newcastle bandwagon as well myself. I got Bruno Guimaraes for his double-digit goals. I'm so happy about that. And when we talk about the actual fixtures, this is a little bit all over the place, right? So obviously you may be targeting Spurs, getting someone like, I don't know, Gallagher even, but I wouldn't be going there. He costs 5.5. I would be probably just staying away from Tottenham. And over here for Newcastle, Wolves away is a decent fixture, of course, but then Aston Villa at home, I wouldn't be betting on them keeping clean sheet there. And then Liverpool away, you never know what's going to be happening there. Brentford at home, you can rely on them scoring maybe a few goals. Tottenham away, and it's just a little bit all over the place then. And Sunderland play West Ham away and Burnley at home, so you can have a defender from Sunderland in these fixtures. But where people are eyeing, and this, by the way, FPL.page site of FPL Focal, I recommend you checking him out. Him, Harry, and FPL Raptor, I would recommend you checking him out if you're interested in a quality FPL content. This would be probably next 8, and you can see that Bournemouth have the best run, followed by Chelsea, right? So you would want to have double up on Bournemouth, then a little bit of Chelsea exposure, and Crystal Palace. And from here, of course, it's all your reliable players from Man City, Arsenal, maybe Aston Villa as well. Like, just getting rid of Morgan Rogers isn't really maybe a good idea, because many people are saying that he's not worth the money. They're telling you to go for Enzo, telling you to go for Tavernier, which is a good shout, but just getting rid of Morgan Rogers, I think I would rather just get rid of Newcastle players, because you can see the fixtures are a little bit dodgy here. And yeah, Sunderland fixtures, it's just like selectively you can have like one player from their team. And if Wolves actually, this is where budget forwards are coming into place. Like, you probably want to get rid of your Eketikes, right? Because he's not having the easiest fixture run. It's Newcastle at home, Man City at home, then it's away fixtures. I don't rely on Liverpool to score a lot of goals. It's not like you're missing out on his hat-tricks anytime soon. Well, famous last words, but still, I would be still looking into the direction of maybe Calvert-Lewin for Newcastle at home, right? If you want to save some money, or maybe getting Mane from Wolves, who obviously fighting for relegation, so you may be expecting like at least a goal there. But realistically, I want to see if I can save some transfers and just load up on Bournemouth and Chelsea and maybe Crystal Palace. But Crystal Palace, it's Mateta, and maybe for me then Munoz. I don't really want to dive into like getting sour and expecting him to finally turn up, because I didn't get him this season, and many people were keeping him and expecting. The data was there. He was scoring in all the competitions apart from Premier League, so I wouldn't be really going there. So here's how we're lining up: Raya in goal, and I'm tripling up on Arsenal defense again. This can be going sideways very quickly, and just because Timber, Gabriel, they can get some points, of course, apart from keeping a clean sheet. But Raya, I think there were better goalkeepers in the run of like 5 or 7 last game week, so I may have lost a lot of points by getting Raya on with my 5 Afghan transfers. Thiaw playing Wolves away. What can go wrong here? I'm expecting something at least. Mukiele plays Crystal Palace at home, and it depends on how quickly the Afghan players are returning and if Crystal Palace are playing full strengths. Mukiele can get defensive contribution points easily. He gets them almost every game. I may just do this, or this can happen as well. I might just risk it for the biscuit and substitute Minte, and it depending on the depending on what the manager is going to be telling about the condition of Minte, whether he is recovering, whether he's entering the team, because there's so much rotation happening at Brighton. They're playing Bournemouth, and Bournemouth aren't really good at keeping clean sheets, and they actually were terrible at just holding the opposition attacks lately. They conceded 4 to Brentford, I believe, And yeah, just not really a defense that you would rely. But there will be a point that maybe you would want to get a defender when they're playing Wolves, when they're playing West Ham, and so on and so forth. But I would be probably keeping my trust Arsenal defense for the foreseeable. Then, of course, I have Malik Thiaw. I think I'm gonna be selling him, or Dorgu, for that matter. And Mukiele is still staying in my team because he's very cheap. Foden, Rodgers, Bruno Guimaraes, Wilson, and Minta then will be my midfield. And Captain Haaland and Thiago up front. I think this is a very, very interesting selection of midfielders. A lot of differentials. You're not expecting the ownership to be high on Minta at all. Wilson as well. Maybe people are still buying him, but Bruno Guimaraes, people are jumping on this bandwagon. So it's not like it's a differential midfield, but combined the ownership is pretty decent. Many people have Enzo Fernandez. I don't think I'm missing out. I will be looking to get Chelsea players in Gameweek 24. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next.